This is What School Didn't Teach Me, a podcast meant to build community on all the things school doesn't prepare you for. Hi, I'm your host, Jasmine Kiamber, and class is in session. Welcome to the classroom. Y'all already know what time it is. It's your host, Jasmine Kiamber, and today I have a very, very, very special guest with me today. I'm sorry that this episode is not visual. I'm currently out of town, thugging on my rounds. I told y'all we was on a field trip, and I'm currently in New Orleans where I have a very special guest, and I'm really excited about today's topic today. So I'm gonna let my guest introduce himself, and if you don't say enough, then I'll have to pick it up.
Understandable. How y'all doing? Y'all can't see me, but my name is Jaden. What am I supposed to say? Like,
Okay, let me do it. This is Jaden, y'all, also known as Smyle. Smyle is a photographer. He is a producer. He works with the film companies at school. So if there's anybody out there that's in film, come and hit our line. He is a photographer. He's worked really hard on his craft. He's a graphic designer. Like, this man has a plethora of creativity just spewing out of him. And today, I'm sorry, did I miss anything?
I mean, you didn't miss nothing, but artists of all fonts. That's my little tag.
My man is a musician. Like,
Oh,
you're
God.
forgetting stuff. You're forgetting stuff. I'm really excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here. I ain't gonna lie. I was dreaming about it. I was like, oh, okay. I'm about to be on the podcast. Oh, Camber asked me. Oh, okay. You gotta get my P's and Q's, but I'm excited.
No, yeah, we're really excited to have you in the classroom. And so, boom, your name is Jaden, but your brand name is Smyle.
Yes.
And so today I really, really wanted to talk about mental health, specifically men's mental health. And I already know the background. The whole story, but I'd love for you to tell us where Smyle came from.
Okay. So, for the people who don't know, my name is Smyle. It's actually spelled with a Y, not an I. That's extremely important. So, way back in, 2016, if y'all was around that time with the hit song, I Spy With My Little Eye, by Kyle.
Love Kyle.
So, back in 2016, it was just one day where I was just bored, and I was just like, this song's pretty popular, but I never heard the artist, Kyle. So, I did a little discography check, and I stumbled upon one of his starter albums named Smyle, spelled the exact same way. So, as I continue to listen to his music on that same album, I was like, I can relate to a lot of the things he's talking about. So, like, the underlying message of the whole album is he's an artist who basically he's struggling to be an artist around his friends, and coming into terms of him being an artist. Like, one of the phrases he used at the end of one of his songs is, basically, it's hard to be an artist when all your friends want to go outside and pound beers and things like that. I just want to make plays and make music and draw and things like that. And I was like, I can kind of relate, because, most artists don't really fit in for real. They struggle with being an artist, also being whatever they want to be, like the ick person or quiet or out loud, things like that. So I could really relate. And so I kind of rebranded my whole idea around Smyle. Of course, it goes a lot deeper, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get into it as the podcast continues. But, Smyle is basically just a thought process, and basically just not even a thought process, just a mentality. It's a lifestyle. Yes.
Do you have a specific, almost like a specific motto that relates to Smyle, like a specific catchphrase or a specific motto? Tell us about that.
Okay. Well, I have a quote. I'm trying to be a philosopher when I grow. I don't know how you add that to your resume, but a lot of people say famous quote. One of my famous quote is to change the world with your energy alone. That's what it means to be Smyle. So basically, honestly, I feel like anybody can be Smyle. I'm not nobody famous or anything like that. I'm just a regular person who has a different mindset than most. And so I feel like every room you step into, you shouldn't even have to be able to talk. You should just, the energy that your aura, your whole shebang, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know, changes everything, and I feel like you should be able to change the very world that you stand upon by just being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So change the world with your energy alone.
I love that. I love that. Okay, boom, being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there ever a time, or was there ever a time, felt like you couldn't be yourself, specifically around, well, in general, but then specifically around the people that you consider to be your friends, like your close, close people around you?
Yeah, so try to bring it back to the reason why I started rethinking what myself was. Before that, I was really struggling to be myself in just like any aspect, because, well, a little bit of background information about me. I'm a military baby, so like I've been literally everywhere, everywhere on the East Coast. So I didn't really have a chance to make friends and things like that, so I was really struggling to find who I am. And a lot of people say I'm like the puzzle piece, like the middle puzzle piece. Like I connect to almost every part, and like I can see that, but sometimes again I struggle with that idea that I might not ever be a concrete, specific piece. I'm just a universal puzzle. So growing up, not having a consistent place really had like a toll on me. And so becoming Smyle, quote and unquote, becoming Smyle really helped me ground myself, And so I definitely feel like I've become a more concrete piece. I still think I'm universal, but is that, you understand?
No. I understand. I definitely understand the idea of being the middle piece, because when you get into situations where you just kind of have to make yourself malleable to where you are, you have to adapt to like wherever you are quickly. It's a beautiful quality that you have, like that no matter where you go, you can thrive, you can flourish no matter where you are and where you're going. Like I see that in you, and I understand that. But then it makes sense. Like I want to have like my own niche, like my own statements, my own, I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. Okay, so when did that kind of start to shift for you? Like when did you decide like, okay, I'm going to start becoming who I want to be?
Okay. So again, around 2016 when I first found the album Smyle, I really just like took a look at myself, because growing up I never actually wanted to be an artist when I first growing up, even though like it looks like I wanted to be an artist since I growing up, but that's not really what I want to do. I really was into like psychology, and I also wanted to be a physicist, and things like that. Wanted to be a chef, once upon a time, astronaut, all that good stuff. But really I was into psych and definitely into like physics, basically trying to understand why the world is the way it is.
Yeah.
And so, but people kept telling me, oh, you had this little talent, you had this little skill, things like that. And like I never even seen it. But if you ask my teachers, on the back of every worksheet, it would just be doodles for days. I'd be rewriting my name or drawing the teacher or drawing the world around me and things like that. And I came to try to push that part of me away. I was like, who wants to be an artist? It's not really that cool, what I'm saying? But then back in 2016, I went through this like little, everybody has a little streak where it's just like sadness, I wouldn't say it's depression, but like it's that sadness where you just didn't know, everything just hit you all at one time, everything just hit you. And so that album really helped me understand, like, I was just struggling to really not understand myself. So as I sat down and really looked at everything that was happening, I was like, maybe it's just how I look at things, Because again, I still want to be a physicist, which is basically understanding why the world is doing what it does, and so I kind of put that mindset, and then I looked at trying to be a psychologist, and then realized like, maybe me being an artist is like the middle ground, of understanding why the world is doing what it does and understanding why my brain thinks the way it does. And so putting those two things together, I became an artist.
I like that a lot. I have a quick question, and I don't want to dive too deep into a rabbit hole. Okay. But okay, you said like you don't want to be an artist. Who wants to be an artist? Where did that come from?
So it's the idea. I know y'all probably heard of it, but the idea of being a struggling artist.
Yeah, that's
like,
all you hear.
Yeah, all artists have to do is struggle before they get to their little point where everything goes big.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's a little scary, to really commit to one thing and then you have to commit so hard that if you don't commit hard enough, it was not going to work out. So it was very taboo in my brain because, growing up, a lot of people was like, oh yeah, he's going to be greatness. He got to be this, he got to be that. Like how some heritage, you got to be a doctor or you got to be a lawyer.
So it's like being an artist and being great and successful almost didn't collide.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to hear your perspective on that.
Yes.
And I really appreciated how you said, maybe it's not your circumstances, maybe it's how you're looking at things. Like I literally was just, I be saying this, like the way that you speak and the way that you think affects your reality.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
now here you are really thriving in the spaces that you are in, like really thriving as an artist that like that's who you've chosen to be.
I try.
At least, yeah. Dang. Okay. So I really want to, I had another question or another thing that I wanted to come back to, but I forgot. And so I feel like, and so I do want to dive into, like, pick your brain about just mental health.
Okay.
So for the people who don't know, which is probably a lot of people,
Yes.
Smyle and I, or Jaden and I, were on the we were both executive members of a psychology club on campus, which promoted, for Kenneth, which promoted just mental health, mental wellness across our college campus. And yeah, mental health has always been important to me because of the things that I, knew growing up, went through growing up, and then understanding that, like, sadness does not have to be my reality. And you mentioned, in 2016, you kind of went through a season of just sadness. Yeah. I want you, if you're comfortable, to talk to us about that. Talk about how you, how you felt, and I guess what was your turning point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, 2016. First of all, 2016 is like the year. I just want to put that out there. Everything great happens in 2016, right? So, back in 2016, the long period of sadness, it was just me battling, like, not only like the identity that I was trying to form within myself, but also dealing with family things and school. Most teenagers have that point where, like, everything's just hitting them all at once. Like, your brain just runs wild. You have to deal with relationships, school, family, finding yourself, and if you're trying to go to college, now you have to worry about these next 4 years.
And this is all at what, like 15?
15, 16, maybe even 17. So, it's just a lot happens, and it's just like, really, really stressful. So after a minute, I became thinking like Smyle, quote unquote. I haven't became Smyle, but I was thinking like Smyle. So trying to rethink how I saw things. All right. So I started with square one, how I saw myself, because before you do anything, you gotta make sure you're okay with yourself. That's very important.
Yep.
So 2016, I wasn't really. Let me back up a little bit. So again, military baby, but in 2010 was the only time. Well, was the beginning of me staying in New Orleans for more than 12 years. Which, So 2016, I've been there for 6 years, and so now I'm going to high school. And I knew a couple of people. I made some friends, and they all went to the same school as me. So it's just pretty cool, right? So, but then I realized that I was changing.
I'm sorry. Are these also military babies that you're meeting?
Oh, no. They're my actual friends now. Okay, know what I'm saying? So I went to school with my middle school friends all the way to high school. So, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And over the course, I was going through a lot of changes. So I got taller, my voice got deeper, I got stronger, things like that, you know what I'm saying?
Got stronger.
I got to put that in there, you know what I'm saying? But so basically I was going through a lot of changes, and the way people saw me in middle school is the same way they saw me in high school.
Yeah.
All right? Now, also being a teenager, I also cared about how people saw me.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
So again, coming back to starting with myself on how I see myself, I started cutting off the ideas that people had of me and started forming my own ideas of myself. So I really started looking at myself and say, okay, what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I actually wrote that down. That's a big thing. I write a lot of things down. And so, like, if you look at my notes or you look at the back of worksheets or anything like that, I'm literally jotting down things that I want to remember.
Do you have, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but do you have like one specific notebook, or do you like whatever I can find, I'm writing on?
Whatever I can find.
Okay.
And it has consistently been my journal now.
Okay.
But I have like 100 journals. So
have you ever
yeah.
finished one?
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair.
see,
That's
I
fair.
can't furnish a journal, but I would definitely start a new one. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
that's real.
I don't
No,
know what
that's
it is
real.
about that first page. But yeah, so definitely started looking at myself and writing down my weaknesses, my tics, my icks, my everything. A big thing, I know Kiamber probably doesn't remember. I hope she does. I used to ask these questions to my friends, the top 5 things you look for in another person.
Yeah.
And it was,
You know what else I remember that I was thinking about literally as soon as we hit record? When you asked us like what our dream space would be like, bro.
What is your inner circle? Like,
what our dream space would be like. Yeah, I be thinking about that, and I'm like, I'm confident that one day I'm gonna find mine, like that all green with the pond.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways,
we gonna get into it.
I remember you asking us that. I remember. Do you still have that? Do you still have those notes?
It's on my iPad. So
Okay.
I don't have them with me, but I have them still.
Okay.
I still have them. But yeah. What was that? Where's that? Oh yeah. Just asking questions about myself to my own self,
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first step. The next step was understanding why I felt these ways about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So like a big thing I struggled with was understanding why I looked at things different.
Okay.
It's a little weird to say, but I don't feel like I see everything the same way that people see.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know how people, well, technically you're looking at everything in a first person view because you're saying I.
Because you're a first person.
Yes. But the way I look at things, I kind of look at it in a third person perspective. So like I'm kind of watching my own story unfold.
Like on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that, yeah.
So that's how I built the ideas about myself. And so like, let's say someone drops, well, how do I want to say the scenario? So basically something drops something on me, like some milk, let's say, in the cafeteria. Instead of me saying I didn't like that, things like that, like saying I was like, did Jaden like that, or how did Jaden respond in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird to say out loud, but like it just kind of makes
No.
sense. I'm kind of watching my own movie unfold.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and so the reason why I started looking at things in a third person perspective is because, again, you're watching your own life unfold,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of have a no judgment kind of. No, not a no judgment. You're kind of judging your own self.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? I feel like you should be harsh on yourself because then
You should?
You should. You definitely should be harsh.
You
on
don't feel like we're already harsh on ourselves?
I mean, a lot of people are, but I feel like I haven't been harsh enough.
Why do you feel that way?
Because I feel like you should want growth within yourself.
Okay.
And I feel like true growth is only brought through a lot of struggle. I feel like you cannot grow without struggling.
Okay, growing pains. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are already living in our own bodies,
Mm-hmm.
and we already hyper analyze, hyper critique ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So why take that up to why take that up a notch and make it harsh?
Okay. So I'm gonna take this in an artistic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna be your own critique, you know. But if you don't like it, why do you expect someone else to like it? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically, if you don't like it, then that'll make you See, my mindset is to always grow. That's the most important thing. I feel like all humans should push to grow no matter what. Even if you're at your peak self, you should still grow because there's still more.
So how often do you take the chance to congratulate yourself, Jaden?
Okay.
All right.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Okay.
So again, growth.
Right. I'm sorry.
So basically, growing, I don't feel like it does not come without struggle.
Right.
And so I feel like you should continue to grow. So it's kind of weird to say, but you continue to struggle. The more you struggle, the more you're going to push yourself to get out that struggle.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a hood mindset. I know it's kind of bad to say, but it's kind of like a hood mindset. You struggle so long. Now, once you get that moment to grow, you got to take it.
Keep growing, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, definitely focus on be your own critique to the point where if you don't like it, then you should not expect no one else to like it.
Okay, but you don't mean like I see this thing that I don't appreciate about myself, and now like this is the only thing about me that matters right now. Like, doesn't matter what good qualities I have, this area needs growth. That's the only thing that matters. Is that what you mean?
No, okay.
Or are you?
I'm not, okay. I don't beat myself up like to the point where I'm black and blue, but I do give myself kind of tough love.
Okay.
Because sometimes you need that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, I just have to make sure you're
I'm
not like.
I'm not that harsh on myself. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I do give myself the room. Give myself the room to fail.
Okay.
But then I come back, a little bit harder.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, and I can go with that. Okay, that was a completely different. That was a whole sidebar. I just needed to hear and address that. Okay, so boom, back on your whole process. You're basically talking about like now you're in high school. You're getting stronger.
Yeah, looking at myself.
And and things are different from like as far as your friends. You're looking at yourself one way. Your friends are looking at yourself a different way.
Yeah.
Okay, keep talking.
And so back to that, I was kind of battling the ideas of like versus how people see me versus how I see myself. And so I continue with that. So I started basically with the 4. I don't know what to call them, but basically mentally, physically, spiritually, and relationship wise.
Okay.
So mentally, I was trying to see, okay, how did I see things? I started seeing things in a third person perspective instead of first person. No more eyes. It's always Jaden did this, Jaden did that. Why did Jaden do that? How come Jaden is feeling this way? You feel me? It's kind of like writing an essay on yourself, if that makes sense. And then next one is physically. So when I was in middle school, I was like really, really round. I was a little chubby kid. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But in high school, I really slimmed up, like really drastically.
Bro, we've seen the pictures.
I was a stick. Yeah,
man.
I was a stick. But I started playing a lot more sports and things like that. So I actually grew stronger. That's why I keep bringing it up. I grew stronger. Which is a good thing for your mental.
Were you like arm wrestling people at school?
She just read me like a book. Anywho.
Okay.
Anywho, spiritually. So how do I say this? I'm big on spirituality. Like your mindset is everything. But also, I feel like my type of spirituality is tied to myself, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I live by quotes. So one of the quotes I live by is, "A sound soul dwells within a sound mind and a sound body." It's also from a very popular anime. If you ever want to watch it, it's called Soul Eater. But anyway, so I really like that. So a sound mind dwells within a sound body. So it means if your mind is well, then your body is well, and vice versa. But it can never not be unequal. So when you grow your mind, you're growing your body. When you grow your body, you're growing your mind. So physically, I was growing my body, which was helping my mental. And the more I help my mental, the more I will be willing to help my body. So, I was a round kid. I did get bullied a little bit, but, I never let it really phase me for real like that. But I did care about my body, so I started playing more sports, started being more adventurous and things like that, and actually going out my way to do new things, which grew my mind and my body. Yeah. So spiritually, I was all right with myself, trying to understand, okay, maybe if I take the time to, this is also a big thing, to breathe. I feel like a lot of people should take the time to just stop running so fast and actually breathe, catch your breath before you continue to run. So I actually started getting that mindset to like, okay, how was my day? How are you doing? And things like that. A little check-in. That's my little spiritual part.
Okay.
And then relationship-wise, so that goes with family, friends, and any platonic relationships. We'll get into that later.
Okay.
So I started making more friends and being more adventurous and things like that. So like, I don't know what I am, because some people say I'm an introvert with extrovert tendencies, but I feel like I'm an extrovert with introvert tendencies.
You feel like you're an extrovert?
Yes, but
okay.
like with just,
I can see that.
Just with a lot of push to be an introvert. I think
you just have a social battery. I think you are very extroverted. I think you just have a social battery.
I guess.
That dies, baby. It dies.
Nah, I guess that's one way to put it.
And you're
But
selective about where you want to be and who you want to be around. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
nothing wrong with that.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
So yeah, so started English developing relationships with people, new people, and actually understanding basically the social world around me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I basically started attacking those four parts of myself, and I feel like that's how Smyle was created.
Okay, so boom.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, thank you. I love that breakdown. I love that you took the time to identify with those four different parts of yourself, because some people aren't even that social aware.
Yes.
That self-aware.
Yeah.
English is hard. Okay, so boom. You said, and I wish my mind wasn't fleeting right now.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
Okay, sorry, my mind is blanking. Gosh darn it. Oh, okay. You said that you would take the time to like take a breath. You would take the time to decompress.
Yes.
Give yourself that check-in. Jaden, how was your day? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How did you feel today? How did it feel when somebody spilled that milk on you in the cafeteria? Like, what was that like?
Exactly.
Okay. Did you feel supported in that area? Did you feel like people, like your external parties, do you feel like they checked in as much with you as you wanted them to? Did you feel supported in your mental health journey as a man?
I would say yes and no. So my upbringing was a little weird. So for the people who don't know, I have a little brother. His name is Joe Marsh. Shout out JoJo. But we're like what, 4 to 5 years apart, almost 5 years apart. And so growing up, he also had a lot of medical issues and things like that. And so I had to kind of shoulder a lot of things. I didn't have to, but I kind of did it self-willingly, just because I'm the older brother. I'm not even the older brother, I'm the older everything. So the oldest nephew, oldest everything, like, you know what I'm saying, all that. So I kind of put on this little tough face. A lot of men do that, which is bad, but it is reality. So we put on this little tough face where nothing's wrong until something does go wrong, you feel me? And so I did have like a support group, but I always threw it back onto them. And so like they'd be like, how you doing, Jaden? Be like, fine, how are you doing though? Like, you know what I'm saying? I seen this was affecting you, things like that.
Like you didn't give them the opportunity to really like check in with you.
Yeah. So I did have the support, but I didn't have the mindset to accept that support. Which is a big thing.
Why?
Yeah. So I did have it, but at the same time I didn't. Which is my fault. Not my fault, but my fault. You know what I'm saying?
So why did you feel, because I have had a similar issue with just like accepting people checking up on me, accepting help when people want to give it, like even now, somebody might ask me how I'm doing. I was literally just having this conversation with Jamani. I literally texted him and I was like, people ask me how I'm doing and I say good. Then they tell me how they're doing. Then I ask them how they're doing and they really tell me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, I wish I could be like that. Like, I wish I could just be like, I'm cool, but this and that and this and that. And I'm like, is it because people feel comfortable talking to me? Well, yeah, I'm sure. Why don't I feel comfortable talking to other people?
Right.
So why did you not? Because in addition to that, we'll never really like understand the support we can get from people until we give them the space to support us. So yeah, like why weren't you accepting? Because you're still like that. Why weren't you accepting of just them checking in?
So again, back to my brother, had a lot of medical issues growing up. So sometimes I would just like have to do things on my own because my mom had to focus on other pressing matters, which nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So like I taught myself a lot of things. Like that also created the way how I learned things as well. So I'm the kind of person where, I've developed to become the kind of person to be like exposed to information, then on my own time I relearn it, I reteach myself. So like with math, someone be like 1 + 1 is 2. I was like, okay, cool. So I go back on my own time and be like, okay, why is 1 + 1 2? Kind of reteach myself that because my mom wasn't around to like just kind of, she was around. Crazy, right? She was just
wasn't around to kind of coddle you, maybe.
Yeah. So I kind of had to learn how to learn in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the reason why I kind of still act that way today is because I feel like it boded the most success. You feel me?
Doing things on your own.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm still struggling with that, you know. But, so me learning things a different way, I became more socially aware of my surroundings.
Okay.
And so I kind of paid more attention to other people than myself.
Okay.
So, like, let's say I can kind of read people better than I can read myself.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of shifted now. I feel like I can read myself pretty well now. But back then, I can kind of see how things were affecting certain people, and that would made me act upon those emotions I seen. So, like, my mother, like, she was struggling with my brother, so I would kind of pick up the slack where it's needed because I seen it, and I started reading social cues better and things like that. I became more self-conscious of the world around me instead of stop focusing on myself. Yeah.
I like that. I mean, not I like that. That's a scary trait to grasp onto, but it's something that I know a lot of people can relate to. Do you think that? What do you think you expressing yourself would do to other people that made you not do it? Does that question make sense?
It kind of makes sense. I'm going to try to see if I can answer it. Let's see.
Okay, because I'm like, I know that was a mouthful.
If I was to be able to express myself better, that's what you're trying to say?
No, more like, okay, like you ask somebody how they're doing. They say good, but you see on their face or you see around them that they're not doing great. Like they're all right, but they're not doing great. So you ask them about them. But then when they ask you about you, one, you don't know what people see on you.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, when they ask you about you, you might have your own stuff going on, but you don't talk about it because you are aware of them. What about that self-awareness or that awareness of other people makes you hesitant to, like, almost like let yourself be human in a way and express?
Okay. So we're going to bring it back to, you know, how my mother and my brother, you know, their relationship. So basically, I kind of thought of myself as the mega big brother. You feel me? Like, I feel like...
Mega.
Yes. Okay. The reason why I say mega is because I feel like most older people put on this little front because they have people to protect. They got people to feed, people, things like that. You know, I'm pretty sure you've seen your mother, your father, things like that act a certain way when they have something very important to do. They got to put food on the table, clothes in bags, things like that. So I became this mega big brother, and I feel like it kind of bled into my normal life. Even when my friends ask me how I'm doing, I became their big brother and be like, I'm fine, but how are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of put on this little coat to shield them from whatever was happening with them. Not realizing that coat was just me being in front of them and actually taking the blunt for them. That makes sense. Visually, you know?
No. That does make sense.
Yes.
That does make sense. And I know that does make sense. Do you feel like that's something that a lot of men do?
Definitely. I feel like majority of men do that, especially when you come from like a one parent household, especially when it's your mother and you have siblings, things like that. Even if you're the little brother, I feel like all men do that, sadly, but that is reality.
Why?
It's multiple answers. We can say the cliche answer, oh, men were supposed to be providers, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. So they got to be tough. They got to be fearless. They got to be this, that, and the third. But then we can take another step and say, another cliche, men weren't taught to show emotions, especially anything that was bothering them. And then we could take it even another step further. Let's say something like an older person deemed like unnecessary, like a girl broke his heart, like, oh, you're a man, you gonna find another girl, this like that. Yeah. And then we can keep taking it another step further and further and further. It's just like the mindset that was instilled into men barely changed.
Okay.
It just hasn't. It's more the sense that it has kind of grew, in my opinion.
Okay. And
kind of been more instilled by not older people, but people of our own age.
Okay, tell me about that, because I want us to talk about like I want us to make this a general conversation,
Yes.
like applicable to all the guys. So tell me about that.
Yeah. So, well, let's start with how men are seen by their opposite gender. All right.
Okay.
Most ladies, they want their man to be the provider. They want to be the strong.
Yes, very much want to turn my brain off when I get around him. Yeah.
Strong man, one that can handle everything, Mr. Make It Happen, things like that. Look, see? Side eye. Anyway.
How you gonna side eye me?
Nah, I'm joking.
Okay.
But yeah, so you want to Mr. Make It Happen, the one who punches the disrespectful men that disrespect her. You think, you know what I'm saying? The big strong man, right? Y'all can't see her, but yeah.
I'm just saying that if somebody gets your order wrong, I'm stepping.
Look, we all need that.
Okay.
So and that kind of breeds like nonchalant men. Right?
Okay.
Right, and then you get to the point like a volcano eruption kind of point where it's just bubbling, and then you realize, well, the lady realizes that this man doesn't show emotions, right?
I'm sorry. Wait. What is bubbling right now?
So, like, let's say you have a little bit of turmoil in relationships. All relationships have turmoil, right?
Right.
And let's say the man hasn't been expressing himself because
Right.
he's so big and strong and just so quote unquote perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Externally, he's perfect externally, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he has some turmoil internally, but he doesn't talk about it because he's so big and strong, worrying about everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he show anything that's going on inside?
Mm-hmm.
So you go to this little bubbly eruption. It's like fizzing. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like you shake a soda bottle and it's like literally just expanding. It's ready to explode, right?
Okay.
And so the turmoil in a relationship causes it to kind of like the cap kind of twists a little bit, right?
Okay.
But you have kind of you kind of gave praise to this nonchalant man
Okay.
for being nonchalant.
So what's bubbling right now is the man's emotions because he's suppressing them.
Yes.
Okay, listening, keeping
Yes.
up. Okay.
And so that one turmoil in a relationship, like, oh, you haven't returned my calls or things like that, blah, blah, whatever may happen, boom, the lid explodes.
Okay.
And now he's relaying all these emotions and how he feels about certain situations.
Okay.
About how he feels about himself, how he feels about the lady, his family relation, all that built up turmoil that you have kind of praised from this nonchalant man has came all out.
Yeah.
And now you kind of see this man differently, which is understandable because he's not like this. You feel me? Because
Right.
he doesn't express his emotions enough.
Right.
So now you kind of like, do I like this side of the person?
Mm-hmm.
Because now he's more open. He's more brutally honest. He's not Mr. Make It Happen. He's Mr. Make It sometimes happen because he doesn't have the time because now he's trying to focus on himself. And now it's like, do I like this? Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of something like I've just been experiencing, not personally, but I've seen happen.
Understand.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
So
sorry, keep going.
so it's kind of a little weird, but like just seeing how people now see how men express themselves, it's kind of weird now because of the time we live in, and so I feel like a lot of people are battling the idea that men are a little bit different than being just a strong make it Mr. Happen. Like he can still make it happen, but he might want to talk about it a little bit, or he might act a little different more than a cliche man,
And do you feel like I'm with you, and that was great. Okay. Do you feel like society now, or maybe if you want to be more specific, like the women, do you feel like they make the space for the man to be Mr. sometimes want to make it happen, sometimes just want to feel?
A little bit. I mean, I feel like people are now coming into terms that men have emotions as well, or that maybe they have thought about this whole relationship a little bit different, like the whole debacle about 50-50 and things like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So basically I feel like people have now slowly has been coming into terms, but then there are some stragglers out there. They be like, I do want that Mr. Make It Happen. You gotta be strong, gotta pay all the bills, gotta be doing this and the third, and maybe I don't feel like I'm comfortable with dealing with his emotions. That's what I feel like is tailored to. Is feeling English. they're kind of struggling with the idea, not the idea. I'm trying to say, kind of struggling with handling other people's emotions instead of the idea of handling with it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like people want a man who can be Mr. Make It Happen, but then also express his feelings. But then when he expresses his feelings, it's like, oh Lord, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
And then they have a hard time coming to terms with that.
Yeah, she gets it.
She gets it. I'm with you. Okay, and so to make this, okay. What do you feel like men need more of now?
I feel like men,
like from society, from other people,
society?
Not what they need to do.
Okay.
More so what they need from us.
Well, can I have like a little two-parter?
No, give it to it. Give it to us.
I got you. So the first part, I feel like men should have kind of a. Let's bring like a little. Okay, I got this. So I feel like men for themselves should have a conversation on how they want to be viewed.
Okay.
By the society, by their friends and their close relationships, and then themselves.
How they want to be viewed, like, explain that a little bit, please.
So, like, let's say, similar to how my upbringing, so how I viewed myself, and then how my friends viewed me, and then how I want society. So the reason why I say society is because sometimes people do, well, a lot of people actually do care how society sees them, because it's society and we're all social creatures, so it's kind of inevitable for us not to feel that exact way.
Yeah.
So how do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be perceived as this smart, kind person? You want to be like this mysterious, blah, 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 this, that, blah, blah, that, right? I'm not saying it's going to dictate how you act, but it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
You know, as you walk outside, there's a billion eyes out there. So how would you want people to see you? Feel me? That kind of dictates on how you act in a social environment. So, like, let's say you hold the door for people. You know what I'm saying? I do that a lot because I just want to be viewed as a kind person, a person that's very considerate about my surroundings. So something not too drastic, but something very important.
Yeah.
Then you have families and relationships that are very dear to you. So, like, I'm a person that likes to talk about other people's days and things like that, just because I want to be kind and show that I'm a considerate friend, or a considerate lover, or a considerate family member, things like that. You know. And then you get to yourself.
Not sure a lover. Okay.
Oh my god. And then you get to yourself, which is the most important. Because I feel like you should be 100% with yourself before you can give 100% to anybody else. You feel me?
Okay.
So that's where the real conversation comes into play. Because then you're the only person that understands your situation. So that means how you feel about certain things, how you dealt with certain things, and what people have told you, or how you perceive what people have told you over the years.
Okay.
You feel me? So that's when the real conversation happens.
Okay. So first men should figure out how they want to be perceived. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then family and friends and things like that. And I feel like you shouldn't save yourself for last, but like on the hierarchy, I feel like you're closer with yourself. So you should always have that conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. Every day, every single moment you have the chance to actually quote unquote breathe. And then really sit down and be like, okay, how did these things affect me? And what were my responses? And were they the correct response? And only you can dictate if they were the correct response. Because again, you are yourself, and you know how you act, and you know every aspect of your own life.
Okay.
Yes. And then, what was the question prior? So I can answer the second part.
Right. What do you feel like society need? What do you feel like men need from society now?
Society. Okay. I feel like society should actually give men the space to be themselves. Not men, but themselves. Because I feel like we have given a title. We have given, quote unquote, men, the word men or man, whatever you want to, grammarly correct. We have given that word so many different meanings that we don't even know what it means to ourselves. And so I feel like we should strip that title and actually worry about the person that is tied to. You feel me? So instead of that man right there, I'm like, oh, how is Jaden doing? You feel me? Because Jaden is different from the word man. Because some people think men are supposed to be providers, this, that, and the third. But now we have new understandings of men. Like, oh, a man is supposed to just be a strong person, a strong individual, and
So,
things like that.
do you think the word man is like objective, like generalized?
Yeah, now it is.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like, again, we have given it so many different meanings over the years.
That it just
Now-
loses value.
Yeah.
So what does it look like for us to give men the space, or us to give men the space to just be themselves, have their own identity instead of just being a man?
So you asking how?
Yeah, like what does that? No, I'm asking what does that look like?
Oh, what does it look
What
like?
does that world look like for men?
So I just feel like people need to understand. Okay, so it begins with the self, and then begins on how other. Because I feel like, so, okay, let's start with the self. So again, when you realize who you are, what you need, what you don't need, and things like that, you can now tailor that to the relationships you have with other people, and they understand how to handle you. That's a weird way to say it. Handle you. I don't like.
No.
But you get that.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah, so let's say I don't like the color red, right? I hate it. I don't want that in my life, right? So if I express that I hate the color red, that means my friends, my relationship, my lover, things like that, my family know I hate the color red, so they won't have red around me. That makes sense? What, you got something to say?
I do.
What is it?
So
What
do
is
you
it?
feel like men don't get that same kind of consideration? Like you could say, I don't like something, but then it's like, oh, you could deal with it because you're a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
most definitely. Most definitely. That's kind of what I based off my whole idea of.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, you're a man. You're supposed to like this. Supposed, quote and
Like
unquote.
you're not supposed to care about
Like,
it.
yeah,
You're not
like,
supposed to let it get to you.
You know, like how, like, I feel like that's with every little detail about life. So like, let's say if you're black, oh, you have to know how to play spades. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Do you know how to play spades?
I do.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you helped teach me how to play spades. Amen.
I'm about to say, like, you know, growing up, I was supposed to be like, oh, you supposed to like grits. I'm like, I don't like grits though. No, you're supposed to like grits.
You don't like grits?
I don't like grits.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the sake of this conversation, we'll put that to the side.
No. I'm about to say, look, small note, fun fact. For like 2 years straight, my family has been trying to keep me to like grits.
Oh.
It didn't work at all.
Did they put a little sugar in it?
They put sugar in it. They put salt in it. They put
Cheese.
butter. They put all three. Cheese. All types of cheese.
Still don't like grits.
Mm-mm.
Wow. So you don't like shrimp and grits?
No.
My Lord, I love shrimp and grits.
See?
Okay.
See?
Okay.
Like, see?
Okay. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So wait, I'm gonna let you finish your thought, and then I have a question.
Yeah. So basically, kind of strip the idea of what it means to be a man. Kind of just throw the word man out. That is a person. That's an individual. He has feelings. He or she has feelings and things like that. So, you know, kind of tailor your responses to that person and not just because he is a man.
I like that. I like that idea. Okay. So, you have had your own mental journey, right? And so I literally was just talking about this in another episode. Like at some point, those negative thoughts turn into neutral and or positive thoughts. Things that once affected you may not have the same impact on you.
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of that comes through finding what helps you decompress, finding what helps you stay grounded, whether that be through extracurriculars, whether that be through like you know, kind of silent internal activities like journaling and meditating and stuff like that. What do you like to do that helps you that is your outlet?
Okay, so my outlets. Well, big thing I like to do is kind of write everything down.
Yeah.
Again. So like
Get it from your brain onto a piece of paper.
Yes. Because if I don't write it down, I forget. I ain't gonna lie. I might forget my name if I hadn't written it down everywhere. But yeah, you know, I like to write everything down, and I like to be brutally honest when I write things down. I kind of like turn my brain off and let my hand move. If that makes sense.
No, yeah.
So I don't sugarcoat anything, because if you sugarcoat it, then it's not the actual taste. You know. Yeah. So
That was good. Okay.
so definitely write everything down, but turn your brain off. Let you just talk to yourself. Also, yeah, I also talk to myself in a closed space though. I don't want people to think I'm crazy.
Oh no, I talk to myself in the store in British accents. It'd be
British
bad.
accents.
Yeah, I was in Target just walking, talking, breaking it down what I needed. Yes. Literally.
That's it.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. It just cut out, and that was so disrespectful. We were talking, and it just cut out. Like I don't even, man. But okay, we were still talking about your outlets. You had writing. You had talking about it, like saying it out loud.
Yes.
And then you had shouting,
screaming.
like the guy in High School Musical.
Yes, Troy
like
Bolton.
Troy in High School
Musical 3, when he
Specifically,
literally losing his brain and he just screaming.
Yeah.
Scream it out.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. Okay, and then your fourth one was?
My fourth one? Oh, so y'all kind of missed it because of the audio. We didn't talk about it. But like we was talking about how, relationships with your friends. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that. Is that being allowed into other people's spaces where, their world might be falling apart or their world is actually building. It's actually big on your own mental health, because now you feel welcomed, or you feel important, or you feel like you're at a pivotal point in someone's life, and then you're remembered. So like I feel like, me personally, I like to be remembered no matter what I'm doing. So I feel like you gonna remember this part, and I'm gonna be there. Be right there, and your little memory core, like in Inside Out,
Yes.
I'm a core memory. You feel me? So I feel like that's good. I feel like a lot of people actually can relate to that. I feel
could or could not.
Can.
Yeah,
they can.
I agree. I'm like, I remember I was going through a really tough time at school, and I would be like, y'all, like, I just need a game night. Like, I need a game night. I need us to do something. Like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
And nobody really knew, like, what was going on, how crazy things were. But those game nights, like, really just really gave me the push that I needed. Like, and nobody did anything specific. Nobody, but it was just being around other people. Yeah, being around other people, spending that quality time.
Same. I'd be like, a lot of times, like my old friends from way back when, we played the game a lot. You feel me? And honestly, I don't really care if we lose. Like in 2K we lose, or what I'm saying, we get sold in like some other game, whatever game we're playing.
You are one of few men. Are you one of few men who would say that? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even care if we lose. I mean, I care if we win. I don't really care if we lose.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually low-key having, well, not low-key, I'm high-key having fun with my homies, you feel me? The same way when I'm with, John Money and DJ. Don't tell them that. They're going to get a big head. The moments where I'm just quiet, honestly, this is with the whole group. You feel me? When I'm just quiet and just staring, I'm honestly just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah,
Again, that's my little part where I breathe. You feel me? Like, dang, I'm gonna miss this. And I know where y'all live, so don't worry.
I was gonna say, don't act like we're gonna die. Don't act like we're gonna die.
I know where y'all live at.
We gotta figure out some like long distance activities soon.
Yes.
Okay. And then before we wrap up, what pieces of advice or what outlets, because that's what I really want to focus on. I feel like you have really, really touched on what men can do to kind of like get more in tune with their mental health and their mental state. I feel like you've talked about what we as a society can do to make men feel more welcomed in themselves, or make people, because you say you kind of wanted us to drop that label.
Man, they're people, they're individuals.
They are people. Now. So to make people feel more safe in their own bodies, with their own feeling, to look at people more like individuals. What tips would you give any young man or any young person who is like, I don't want to, like, I feel this way. I don't want to feel this way anymore. Like, I am looking for I am looking for an outlet.
Okay.
What would you suggest? What do you say to the young people or the young men who are just who are at the very beginning of their journey?
So I'm gonna bring back like a couple ideas before the audio. So I feel like there was big ideas. So I feel like, boom. The first thing I would tell anybody to do. This literally goes for any gender, any whatever you want to identify as. First, be okay with being themselves. All right. So that means, if you like a certain thing, if you don't like a certain thing, if you see a certain thing a certain way, things like that, whatever, I feel like you should be okay with being that way. Because I feel like a lot of people have tried to be these things that they're not, especially in society, especially in society's eyes. Everybody wants to be this hit person. Everybody wants to be this, wants to look like this, wants to do this, that, and that. I feel like you should just throw that out the window and be okay with being you. And again, throughout the concept of man, I feel like you should just be okay with being insert name. So you should be okay with being Jaden. You should be okay with being Camber, being whoever you want to be. Be okay with being yourself. At the end of the day, you're nobody else but yourself. You feel me? The second thing I would tell anybody to do is understand themselves to the core. Now, I feel like that's actually impossible to do, but I feel like you should continue to keep
You think it's impossible?
to know yourself
To
the
the
exact
core?
core. Yeah, I feel like I learn something new about myself every day.
Oh, well,
or
yeah.
every other week.
Because
at
we're
least.
always growing and we're always evolving.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, I'll never know how many hairs are on, like, the top of my head.
I mean, not like that.
But I
mean,
think I
like,
can psychoanalyze myself so hard that I can know, like, what makes me feel what way, what triggers me, yada, yada, yada.
I mean, yeah, but no, because then you might get put in a scenario that you never knew you were going to put in, and now you know, okay, I don't want to be put in that scenario. So
Yeah,
you just learned
it's a
something
whole
new. So you didn't know wouldn't like that scenario.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like it's truly impossible because the world is literally growing within itself. So as long as the world keep growing, you're going to continue to grow with the world.
Okay.
You feel me? So definitely understand yourself to the core, or at least the best you can, because then you will know how you want to tailor your life. Like me personally, I kind of dislike being put in drama, so I kind of run away from drama as best way I can. So that's a
The
saying.
people love tea. We do. We love tea.
Yeah,
For you to know everybody and then not want drama is hilarious.
It's a kind of a curse. I ain't gonna lie. Because then they be like, "Did you hear?" Run.
Bruh, Jaden is so quick to be like, yeah, that's not my business,
Yeah.
and walk away. Like,
I'm on my
whoa,
business,
Jaden.
bro. I'm on my black
We
own.
was in the middle of a conversation. I was just trying to get some tea. I had my cup ready, everything.
And it's the fact that I know stuff. I just don't want to know it. You know what I'm saying? But that's nothing here.
Ain't distributing
or
it,
there.
no tree. Okay.
Not here or there. But I don't like drama, so I wouldn't be around drama. I do not want to be around people that bring drama. You feel me? And so it's just small things like that where you just have to understand your ticks, your icks, your turn-ons and your turn-offs. So you feel me? So it's like,
You think it's easy to like stay away from the things that you don't like?
yes and no. Depends on what you don't like.
Okay.
It really depends. Because I can stay away from grits, but I can't stay away from messy people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do when you're by a messy person?
I kind of just so depends on the situation, but if they're trying to be messy in that scenario, they're like a person I want to get to know, but they're just being messy in that scenario, I kind of flip the conversation, or I kind of direct the conversation in a different light, or I just be like, that's not my business, and then continue with the conversation that was prior to that. You know?
Okay. So either way, you don't engage. You
Yes.
just, okay.
Yeah. And it's small things like that where I feel like a lot of people should understand with themselves. Because some people might not like, I don't know, like anything dealing with a conversation dealing with religion. I know that's a big topic for a lot of people. And so that's also a big topic with me too. So I kind of avoid religion conversations and drama in general. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So boom, figuring out
Who you are.
figuring out who you are,
Figuring out what makes you tick.
figuring out what makes you tick. Okay, keep going.
And then the third thing, I feel like you should now start seeing yourself in different scenarios and see how you react. So the first one is understanding yourself. The second one is understanding what turns you on and turns you off, what your icks and your downs, all that. And then understanding, oh, my bad. Tripping, I got them confused. Understanding why you feel that specific way. Because if you can explain why, then you're pretty much golden. You feel me?
And a lot of times that comes from that why comes from, I'm big on inner child healing. So
Yes.
I feel like a lot of that why comes from stuff that you don't even remember from your youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason why I don't like religion conversations, because back then a lot of religion was trying to be forced upon me, and I was like, that's a lot to deal with, and I want to, what I'm saying? So that's why I stray away from religion, because as a small child, a lot of religion, different conversations were being had, and I just didn't want to,
So your reaction is based on an event from way back when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understood the why.
Okay, so in order to get your why, you have to dig deep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got to dig deep. And that also comes with, like, knowing yourself and knowing your turns on and turns off. You feel me? There's a reason why I like dark skins.
I'm cutting that.
No, cut that way, no.
Okay.
I'm about to say, there's a reason why you like what you like and what you don't like.
That's true.
The reason why I don't like grits is because it's the texture.
I was just about to say, like, there's trauma with grits. Okay.
It's not trauma with grits.
You just
it's
don't
just
like
I just don't like the texture.
Jaden, this is not a conversation about your interesting taste buds.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
What about an outlet? Like, what would you say people should take up to, like, get themselves to be a little more expressive, get themselves to, like, get that,
So I'm gonna stray away from the cliches, like pick up a journal or talk it out, things like that. I feel like you should pick up. How do I word this? You should pick up something that's extremely important to you. Now, that doesn't mean a hobby, and that doesn't mean like a natural outlet. It just means something that I'm gonna just say it. So basically, not an outlet. It should be something that you're willing to die for. If that makes sense. So me personally, I'll give an example. Art is my literal die for. Like, I feel like without art, I would not be myself, and I don't want to be nobody but myself. So I'd rather die than not be myself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so art is your way of expression.
So another example, let's say like the true hood story is like a person who plays basketball. That's their literal die for. Like, they will die without playing basketball. You feel me? That's the biggest cliche out there. So I feel like once you find that the reason that you live, I guess that's a better way to put it. The reason that you live, your meaning of life. You feel me? I feel like once you find that, I feel like you basically find yourself. Because I feel like, so my meaning of life is to find your happiness. Not the person that makes you happy, but the reason why you're happy.
Yeah.
So if it is a person that makes you happy, then live for them. But once you find that thing that makes you so happy that you want to live, I feel like that's the true meaning of life. Yes. So art is the reason why I continue to breathe every day, because I feel like I can make so many cool shit. I can impress so many people. I can capture things that make other people happy. You feel me? And so I feel like I can continue to live. Of course, there's other things that I could live for, like y'all. I love y'all. But I feel like art is literally my safe spot. You feel me? So once you find that one thing that you can live for, or you will die without,
keep living for it.
Yeah, keep living for it. You feel me? You get it.
No, I'm with you, and I love that. And I appreciate you for spending your time with us.
I appreciate you for having me.
Thank you for spreading knowledge in the classroom. That's really what we're about. Knowledge in the classroom. Y'all, when I say Smyle is an artist, I mean Smyle is an artist. I'm going to attach his Instagram in the show notes. And, when we start doing the promotion for this episode, his Instagram, his information will be there so that y'all can check out his art. Like, he's a poet, he's a photographer, he's in film. Like, the man does it all. So I appreciate you. Like, you had a very busy day today. And I appreciate you for squeezing me in, for making time for this.
I always got time for you, Cam, but
don't guess me.
Thank you for having me. You gotta have me again. I definitely love having conversations. The deep ones, conversations.
Oh, no, yeah. We'll be back.
Definitely.
Okay, y'all. Make sure y'all check out Smyle. He's an amazing artist. And I hope y'all really picked up what he put down, because he spread a lot of knowledge in the classroom today. If you're not a man, send this to a man. And if you're not a man, and if you are a man, pick up a hobby. Pick up something to live for.
Pick something up to live for.
Find
your why. You feel me?
Yeah, find your why. And give people the space to test the people around you out. Test to see if they'll give you the space to be yourself.
Yes.
Just for a moment.
Definitely.
See how that works for you. I love y'all. And we'll see y'all next week.
See y'all later.